And welcome back guys to another test review. Today we've got this amazing 2018 anniversary Fat Boy, but the difference is we've got a 117 Ci, and as you can see on the thumbnail it is a stage 4. So I've got lots of stuff to go through on this bike, and as always, let's kick it, let's go into the specs and let's start having some fun. As I mentioned, this is the Screaming Eagle 117 Stage 4 kit. It's got the CNC ported cylinder heads, performance valve springs, a 64mm throttle body, Screaming Eagle high flow injectors. It has bigger cylinders, forged high compression pistons, Screaming Eagle 515 camshaft, Screaming Eagle bearing upgrade, Screaming Eagle high performance tappets, high capacity clutch and springs. Whew, and that's just to name a few guys. I tell you what guys, just looking at this thing, it is such a sexy looking bike, and I bet you if you even don't like Harley Davidson, you will have to admit this thing does look the absolute nuts. In terms of the colour scheme then, you've got the anniversary 115 colour, which is really nice, just pops at you. I love all the little detail as well, just in terms of the seat. And you've got the blue stitching along the side there, and obviously you've got the vehicle number here, which is 804 of 1100, so that is the volume of these bikes that they actually made. But as usual, I'm getting too excited and I just need to get on with the riding and showcase to you guys what this bike is like. So the first thing I need to do, because my body weight is now 70 kilos, so I've got to adjust this to 1, because that is the setting for my body weight for the monoshock. And from my perspective guys, this has been one of the big improvements of the Softail range, is the monoshock at the rear. So just to go over some stats again whilst I sit on the bike, I am 5'9" and weigh 70.3 kilogram. Why am I so precise? Because I jumped on the scales, not this morning but yesterday. In terms of the ergonomics of the riding position, it's very neutral, it's extremely comfortable. Again, I think, you know, obviously these bikes do weigh a bit, but once you're actually on them, they feel super duper light. My feet are firmly on the ground. You know, I've still got quite a bit to go there, so someone who's shorter than me, 5'8", 5'7", you're going to have no problems at all with this bike. Then you've got the added benefit of the footboards, and I personally really like these. They give you a much comfier riding position when you're doing touring especially. And actually with a bike like this guys, you would be looking at some form of touring aspect. Looking at the bars themselves, they've got a bit of a Hollywood style feel to it, so that's really nice. And in terms of the way I'm sitting then, it's going to prop me nice and upright, giving me a nice comfortable position. Then we look at the hand controls. So with all Harleys it's very simplistic. The main difference of these hand controls is that you've got the added benefit of cruise control, which is just here, but from the left then at the top you've got headlight and main beam. Then you've got the cycle button on the left hand side, so if we turn the bike on, in terms of the dials themselves, it tells you exactly the range that you've got left on your petrol, then the time, RPM, total miles the bike has done, so it's 252, and then trip A, trip B. Very simplistic but easy to operate. Continuing on with the left hand side, you've got the horn, self-cancelling indicators, left indicator obviously, and then the lovely Defiance grip here on the left. Then to the right then you have got engine, stop, start, power, hazards, and the right cancelling indicator. All very simplistic. As with all my test reviews guys, we're going to go down to Beachy Head today. The weather's quite nice, not raining, that's a start. So in terms of feedback then, because we got this monster 117, I'll be giving you some feedback on the performance, the speed, the handling on the Fat Boy, and we'll go from there. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Oh, and straight away what I'm feeling is that 117. What a difference you've got with this compared to the 114. It just feels an absolute monster. I've been riding a couple of minutes guys, and I just want to give you some straight feedback on what this thing is feeling like. And let's start with comfort. What I love about it is that these Hollywood bars, they're just so comfortable. They're obviously below my shoulder width, but in terms of flicking the bike about, look at it, you just apply the pressure and it dips right, left. easy peasy. In terms of the foot position, very similar to forwards, nice and stretched out. That means for long distance riding, for me, this thing would be an absolute breeze to get through with no aches or pains or any of that stuff that can really make your riding actually a bit rubbish and it's not a great ride. The seat itself has got a nice lumbar support at the back, so in terms of my riding style, yes, you would be sitting upright. That would be the obvious thing to do and the sensible thing to do. But for me, I can just lean slightly back in a, well, slouch position. So overall, I'm really enjoying this today. Being 100% transparent, I did test review a 114, I believe, going back a year ago when the Softails were first launched. And with the Fat Boy, it was one of those bikes that I didn't get on with in terms of the manoeuvrability. However, let's see what's changed, because if anything, it's going to be my riding ability, not the bike. So here we go. First part of the test. Let's go around the roundabout. Currently in second gear. Okay, leaning to the right. That feels okay to me. Only applying a little bit of counter steer. And then this is the fun part. Let's open it up. Gee whiz. Now, do not get me wrong. I am not saying this bike is quicker than a sports bike. I wouldn't be that crazy. But in terms of a Harley Davidson, I'm just glad it's got a lumbar support, because my arse would be off the back of the bike without a doubt. Coming into the next part of the test, this is one I really like. It's the rolling, running, whatever we're going to call it, going into the roundabout. See what it feels like. Dip right. This is where I'm having trouble with it. It's one of those bikes that you just can't carve about in the turns, but it's just my opinion. Again, going into the roundabout. See what it's like. Leaning really hard right. That feels a bit better. Not going as fast, but that was a lot better. Starting to think it's the rider. Okay, the only thing I can think of at the moment, guys, in terms of the manoeuvrability, I just think I need to put more aggressive lean into it and throw the bike around a little bit more. Let's see how it goes. We're now currently in a 60 miles an hour zone, so what I'm trying to establish here is what does the bike feel like in terms of going at that national speed limit. Things you're looking for is no vibration coming through the handlebars, as minimal vibration as possible coming through the bike, a little bit of rumble because it is a Harley Davidson, and what I can tell you is that overall it's feeling really positive, super comfortable, no vibration through the bars, exactly what I would be looking for. So we're now coming into the start of the twisties for the test, and what I can tell you, leaning in more aggressively, there's definitely room to hit those footboards without a doubt. Coming into a 60, guys, let's test what this claimed 120 brake horsepower is like. Okay, let's get round here first. I want to see what's in front of me, and then let's open it up, and definitely straight away that power is coming through. It's an absolute beautiful noise this thing is making. Obviously with the V&H short shots, I've always said this, they're not exactly my favourite pipe, but when you've got them on the M8, it does give you a much different note compared to a Sportster or a Dyna. But rocking around just on that 60 mark, it's just so much fun. Okay, so coming into a left turn, let's drop it down a bit, see what this is like. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more aggressive with the handling. Open it up, drop it down again, and it's just brilliant. The power just comes in straight away with that high torque. But hopefully, guys, you are hearing that noise ringing through. Again, coming into another 60. Let's just open it up. It's a straight. Blimmin' heck, that is quick. Woo! This is a little bit addictive, I must admit. But I just think, if you want to mess around with the engine and put kits on like this, from my perspective, it is worth it. And you will get that feedback with, well, if you want your Harley to go quick, why don't you buy a sports bike? Well, it's pretty simple, because we love cruisers. Because nothing puts a bigger smile on my face than riding a Harley with a big 117. I'm just enjoying this so much. The handling on it, it just feels much better than I initially thought. Oh, the front was a little bit jerky then. I think it's one of those things you just got to realise that with the rear 240 coupled with such a wide front end, just got to lean in more aggressively, as I'm doing now. And look at this, guys, for a view. I keep on saying this every time I'm on my test route, but it is beautiful. I must admit, with a bumpy road, the front end is twitching quite a bit, so I'm having to keep an eye on that and keep it firmly planted to the floor. But hey, that's why they're bringing aftermarket suspension kits. So we've got quite a tight left here. See what it's like, dropping it down. I mean, manoeuvres like this is, yeah, obviously super easy. Okay, coming out. On good road, this thing just grips the road. Oh, and obviously what I mean by good road is that it's newly tarmacked, no ditches and no stones lying across it. What am I talking about? I just don't know. Just constantly reminding myself I've got to be more aggressive with the turns. But oh, this thing is addictive. It's super addictive. Just thinking about the 117 and the upgrade this has had, I'm just picturing, imagine this in a fat bob or a street bob. It would be lethal. Coming over the hump and then into a left, dropping it down. Water's looking choppy today. Yeah, as I said, no wonder people go for the 117. There's a huge difference. So coming into the part of the test that really tests all the bikes in terms of their manoeuvrability. From memory, it's a very tight right, then a tight left. Let's see what its bike is like. I rephrase that, going into a tight left to a tight right, dropping it down into fourth. I'm going to chuck it into third for measure. Here we go, there's the left, coming into the right. I'm hitting a little bit of back brake, leaning in very aggressively. Dropping it down into second. Oh, it's manageable, but you ain't gonna be flinging it around on the curvies. And then open it up. Sweet! So what did I think about this fat boy with a 117? Let's start off with a 117. Yeah, I loved it. I think it's just got so much torque. That's the big thing about this bike. It just pulls like an absolute train. So there's a tick for me there. I think in terms of the fat boy, just absolutely love its presence. As I mentioned at the start of the vlog, this is one of those bikes that when you think of Harley Davidson, this is the image that you've got in your head. And this is kitted out in such a nice way. I'm not a massive fan of chrome, I've always said that, but sometimes it works, and it does work on this bike. In terms of the handling, I'm just going to say it's okay. It's a little bit better than when I first did a test review, but in terms of going through twisties, this thing is going to, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, guys. Especially with the floorboards, they are going to scrape. I think suspension wise, the monoshock at the rear is really good. For me, it's always been a good asset that Harley Davidson have put on. But I must admit, the front suspension, it was a little bit twitchy at certain points. But overall, I really enjoyed the experience on this Fat Boy 117. Hope you guys did as well. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But as always, guys, till the next vlog, stay safe, wrap up warm for the winter, because I'm definitely going to be purchasing some new gear. Take care, Motonewbrider. Peace!